got a bunch of pink slips there, huh?
There's a camera.
Okay, well, welcome to the City Council chambers. This is where the legislative body is. I'm sure Ron, my Deputy Assistant Service Safety Director, who's not here, Ron told you all about how this government works. I'm sure your teachers told you that as well. Have you gone down to the courtroom? Okay, so you've seen that in action.
Some people didn't there.
A lot of people or few?
A lot.
A lot, but they were in the TV with people in jail on it.
Oh yes, okay. That's the court side of it, unfortunately. And then of course the legislative, which is all you can see all the city council members' names there. They represent different parts of the city. How many of you live in the city? Okay, so eventually you'll vote in the city, and you'll be citizens here. City limits go out towards, let's see, out to your school. You probably don't know. Do you know where the city limits are? From where you live? How about you right there? Do you know? No? Okay. Well, it's hard. It varies from place to place and street to street. I'm in charge of the city. I'm the executive, administrative branch of it. I'm an elected official. Does anybody know how long the term is for a mayor? How about you? Yes.
2 years?
No, 4. Close. City council's 2. Every 2 years they have to get reelected. They just went through a cycle last year. Same with me. Let's see, other things. I'm essentially charged as a statute city, which we have to follow Ohio Revised Code law. The law of the city is structured by the state. So we have a city council, we have a legislative branch, we have an executive branch, we have judiciary, the court system to find out if it works or not. And let's see, I did not grow up here. I grew up in New York. I am 58 years old, which makes me very old. If you want to do that in days, I think it's 21,377 days. Yeah, that's a lot of days. So
How did you get that?
I went on a computer and put it in and that's the date.
I thought you would use a calculator.
Well, I let the computer do the calculation because I could use a calculator, but then I always mess up on the leap years. And this year is a leap year, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's off topic. Let's see. Probably I'll just take questions at this point. I don't know how much I can lecture you since you know about it already, I imagine. Let's start with you right there. Just tell me your question there.
Have you ever vetoed a law?
Yes, I have. Not recently, though. Let's see. I think I vetoed one probably the first or second year I was on my first term. And to tell you the truth, I don't remember what it was. I should know. I should because I do it so infrequently. And I think I got overridden too, because you can override a veto. The council can override a veto.
How does it feel to be mayor?
How does it feel to be mayor? Depends on what day it is. Of all those different days, and again, it's about 1,000 days term. Some days are hard, and some days are fun. Today's a fun day. Look, we're here with you guys. Let's go over here, quick, right there.
How do you feel about fracking?
About what?
How do you feel about fracking?
About fracking. Oh, that's a hot topic there. I had a town meeting in February and about 40% of the questions were about fracking, hydrofracking. Mostly against it. I am worried about it. First of all, at the town hall meeting, I said the first thing we have to recognize is that we're addicted to energy. We got the lights on. I've got the battery in my watch here. I got the battery in my cell phone. So we want energy. The question is, how do we, now that we know that we need energy, how to develop it properly? I am worried about fracking. I think it's a bad idea, mostly because I think it's really going to could wreck our water table, and that's my concern. You right there.
Do you like being the mayor?
Do I like being the mayor? Most of the time, yes. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it for 2 terms, I guess. How about you in black, Chicago?
What do you like about Athens?
What do I like about Athens? Oh, there's so many things I like about Athens. Again, I moved here in 1981, which is a long time ago for you guys. I like the hills. I like the university and the culture. I came here to work at the university in molecular biology and chemistry. I was a chemistry major. I like working in science. It's a good mix of both exciting culture, a lot of young people, just like you, but a little bit older, because college kids, and then the hills, beautiful hills. How about you in pink, back there?
But what was your job before you
My job before I was mayor, well, actually, I was a part-time city council member. These members of city council are part-time, so I had two jobs at one point. I had that before I became mayor, and then I was what they call a research lab associate, I think it is, but yeah, it was a glorified lab technician. I basically cut and paste DNA. I was doing molecular biology, so I play around with DNA and do DNA experiments at the medical school. I'd look at, ask scientific questions like, what causes let's see, what would they call it? The instar, the actually metamorphosis of caterpillars into moths at this point. We worked with a caterpillar called a tobacco hornworm and look at what makes it molt and grow, and look at the mechanism there. So little questions like that, it's probably more than you want to know, right? So I was a scientist, essentially. I was doing science, molecular biology, biological sciences before then. You in blue right there, you? Yes? You don't have a, oh, you had your hand up, though. Okay. How about you in red back there? Do you have a question? And what is that question? I can't hear you.
How to be what?
How to be a mayor. Oh, well, that's easy. It's not easy, but it's easy in one sense. The mechanism is such that you get about 50 signatures of all the citizens, voters in the city, at least 50, and then you get on the ballot. And then you have to get the majority of the people liking you. When I say majority, more than 51%. So you go through an election cycle. The process of that is very convoluted. You have rules you have to follow to make sure you do it right. How about you over there with the, right there, you, yes?
Do you have pets?
Do I have pets? Yes and no. I really don't have pets. Don't have time for pets. The only thing I have is actually I have bees. I keep bees. So I don't know if I call them pets though, okay? They're not something you just want to, just pet or something like that. But I don't really have time for it most of the time. I do the beekeeping because it's kind of therapeutic and I like the honey.
Is it hard to have like a lot of jobs?
How what?
A lot of jobs.
A lot of jobs? Yes and no. It's hard because you have to be an expert at a bunch of different things. If not, you have to know when to listen when you're not an expert. And because that's it, I don't know everything. So therefore, if somebody says, well, what about this? It's like, I don't know that. I'll have to ask somebody over here. Or go on the computer and find out. But it makes it also interesting because things change from day to day. I mean, today, let's see. Today we had a bid opening to find out how much it's going to cost to rebuild the bridge on Morrison Mountain. I think we're talking about $3.1 million, so we're looking at that. I also talked to a bank representative about an issue going on in the city, and I'm talking to you guys. And I have, I think we have Disabilities Festival tonight, so I have a bunch of different things going on. I think I have a wedding Thursday, so that's another one. How about you?
Why do they not have the budget on the city website?
That's a good question. Why don't we have a budget on the city website? I'll have to check on that. I would probably, it might actually be in the auditor's webpage. I don't know for sure, but I can check on that. The budget changes all the time too. That's the other thing. We could put it up as an appropriation.
So it changes like every minute or so?
It changes probably every pay cycle, about every 2 weeks, and every time we write it. Realize every time we write a check, say, okay, we're going to pay you to clean the roads. It's like we write a check for you to clean the roads, and now the budget's different because it's a little less because we just gave you some money. And then we get some money because it's tax or somebody pays a parking ticket. So it's always a changing activity. I get monthly reports. I have actually online. I can look at our accounts pretty much almost real time. When I say almost real time, probably within 24 hours what's going on. But as I say, put it out there and let it get old real fast. It's like bread. It gets stale real fast when you leave it out.
When you said that you were a scientist, did you know my dad?
Who's your dad?
His last name's List.
List. Ed List.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I worked with him at Edison Biotech. I worked at Edison where he works many years ago. And he was a grad student. And he did good work, too. Still does, I'm sure.
Yep.
Okay, other question. That's not really a mayor question either. You in yellow.
What is the most challenging thing to do as mayor?
The most challenging. The most challenging thing to do as mayor is to say no. And I say that because as an elected official, you want everybody to be happy. You want your constituents to be happy. You have limited resources. So the difficult part really from my point of view is to say, okay, how much money do we have and how much things can we do? Because I'd like to do lots of things, but we don't, we're always constrained. I'd like to have twice as many policemen so we have a safer city. But it's expensive, and we don't have the money for it. So it's like, okay, so how do I balance these things here? We like Rick Cross in there. He's a great, but we like to have more of them. Other ones have more streets, to pave the streets. So the hardest thing is actually balancing the amount of dollars and how to spread it properly and make sure everybody's needs are met. Does that answer your question? Okay, great. Okay, you.
When will you open that Bobcat Lane?
Why will I or will I?
Why won't you?
Why won't I? There are many reasons for why I don't open Bobcat Lane. The major one is I put a bike lane going up the street for that, and I'd rather have a bike lane than a turning area, because that bike lane, if everybody has to turn in and turn out, the bicyclist going up the hill will have problems with negotiating it. This is an issue because really I like to see more bicycling and walking because it's healthier. There are other issues too on that. The process is which it was done. The fact is that it would create a obstruction with the cars going in and out. It's at the bottom of a bridge. Does that cover most of it right there? I could go on for hours on
Who
that.
built it?
Who built Bobcat Lane? Bobcat Lane was built by the university. That's their entrance. They put it in there so they could get to Baker Center quicker. And they didn't check with the city first.
Are you mad about that?
Am I mad about that? No, not really. The idea is that, I work with the university a lot, and we can't stay mad at each other. It doesn't work to stay mad at you. You can disagree about things, and you can agree about things, and it's a balance, like anything. Like your friends. You sometimes disagree with a friend. Same thing.
And who put the post in?
Who put the post in? I think we did, the city. Make it easier on us. You in black right there.
The job as a mayor is hard.
Is it hard? It can be. Yesterday was a 12-hour job a day. Today will probably be another 12-hour day, and Wednesday will be another 12-hour day. So it can be long and hard. But there are fun parts of it. This is a fun part. You know that? It is. I'm serious because I get to talk to you guys. Go ahead.
What do you like most about your job?
What I like most about the job? Good meetings. Good meetings with smart people who have good ideas, who ask good questions, and that's one of the fun parts right here. You guys got your hands up. Everybody there. Let's see. Okay, you.
What's your favorite part about being mayor?
Oh, I just kind of said that right there. Having the meetings, meeting you guys, actually giving ribbon cuttings are fun. Weddings are fun. I actually do weddings, not all the time because some people do it in churches and some people don't get married. Who knows? But the fact is, that's one of the fun things. Let's see. How about you over there? Both of you. First you, then you. Go ahead. Yes.
Okay. Have you ever had to fire one of the members of the city council?
I can't fire them. They're elected officials. They're on equal footing with me. The only people who can fire them is the voters next time they come around. I have fired people, and that's no fun. It isn't. Mostly because it takes a while to do that, and also that means they're disappointing you on some level. And you back there?
How many ordinances?
Oh, in any given year, we run about, the ordinances are put together by the legislative body, the council. I think last year we topped out to be about 139 ordinances. But it varies from year to year, depending how busy we are, how much we can combine them. I think some years we've had about 150, and each one, some of them are actually changes in law. Some are just to appropriate what they call appropriate money, which is really just saying, yes, we can spend the money. It's like, your parents saying, yes, you can spend this money on this. council actually controls the purse strings. I have to say, okay, I want to buy a police car, or I want to buy a new dump truck. And they say, well, okay, we're going to take this money, and that becomes an ordinance in itself, saying we will authorize you to buy this dump truck. Or a fire truck, $1 million fire truck. Go ahead, Blue, you.
Will the university changing to semesters have a positive impact on community city employees?
That's a good question. We don't know. I think everybody, there's two different thoughts on that. One being is that for the business people, the semester will go longer into Christmas time, and people will buy more Christmas presents, and they'll be here longer. Other people say, well, now that means they're going to have different summer lengths, and they will have less time to be here. So everybody's kind of watching and waiting right now, to tell you the truth. They worry about the big parties that occur, and they worry about that, how that's going to change, and whether it's going to affect enrollment, because that will affect the city economy as well.
And
You got two questions. Go ahead.
are there any plans to improve the city?
Improve the city pool? Oh, there are lots of plans. There's just no money. We're talking about $3 to $4 million worth of pool improvements. The pool is over 30 years old, so we are worried about it because someday it's not going to hold water, and we'll probably have to go to the taxpayers and ask if they want to be charged tax to do that. We'll probably have to float a levy on it, unfortunately. But we have discussions on this all the time because it would be nice to actually get a better pool, a newer pool. But the question is how much, when you start talking about $3 or $4 million for that, and again, it comes down to that resources, do I spend $3 or $4 million on streets, or do I spend $3 or $4 million on a pool? Now, some people say, oh, pool is very important. And other people say, no, the police and the streets are more important, So it's going to be a hard call there. Oh, we lost everybody behind me. That makes it easy. How about you?
Do you enjoy your job?
Do I enjoy my job? Yes. Because I'm on my second term, I must enjoy my job because I wouldn't come back otherwise. Okay, you right there.
Me?
Both of you. Start with one and the next. No, go ahead.
Me?
Yes.
Oh. I like that you put satellites in the community center.
Well, go ahead. Rephrase it.
I like that you put solar panels in the community center. Are you gonna put solar panels anywhere else?
We talk about it. We haven't done it yet. It's pretty expensive. I think that was like and actually we don't own the solar panels. Somebody else does. We just buy the power. I think that was like a $1 million project. So we talk about it, but we haven't done it yet. Some of the places to talk about putting it would be some of our other buildings besides City Hall, putting some on the parking garage. But again, it's do we have the money and do you get a return on the dollar? It's a nice thing to do, but it's very expensive. Now you.
What do you consider the biggest accomplishment since taking office?
My biggest accomplishment is taking office. That's a good question too. I think one of the biggest accomplishments I've done, it's kind of strange, is actually work better with the university. It's not really a physical thing. It's more like an action. Am I moving around too much here? Okay. It's more like I've gotten a better relationship with the university, and part of it is because I push back. Bobcat Lane's one of them, but the idea is that we realize we're both in the city together, and we have to work together. If you're thinking in terms of physical things, I mean actual, bridges, I'd say the roundabout. Think about that's the only one in the county. We may get another one sooner or later. And a lot of people didn't like it. We had to work hard to convince everybody it was worth doing at that point. You.
I can't believe I'm on TV.
I've lived here since 1981, so that puts me at 31 years. It's a long time. But again, I came here to work, and I just enjoy it, and I want to stay here forever. And I'm doing a good job of it so far, too. Let's see, we're running low on questions here. You in orange. Yes, I get paid to do the job. Are you going to ask how much? Oh, okay. Actually, how much is actually public record. As public employees, we all actually, council sets up the pay scale for the next term of office for both them and the mayor and all the other positions. I am getting paid, I think, about $75,000 a year. Well, that's Dr. McDavis makes more, and some of the other people at the university makes more. Some of the, I worked it out one time. I worked it out to the minutes. I said, okay, so if I'm working, let's say, 2,080 hours a year, it works out to be about 53 to 55 cents a minute, which is about a little bit less than a pound of bananas a minute. So that's how I put it in relevance, because it's like, okay, what does it take to grow a pound of bananas, you know? I used to do turnips, but I don't like turnips anymore, so I don't think in those terms. Go ahead, you.
Do you think you want to be mayor again?
That's too early to tell. I still have 3 more years, so I might, but I have to think about it, because I might stop enjoying it in the next 3 years. Do you think you want to be mayor sometime? Probably? Okay, there you go. Let's see. You in blue. How old is Athens? 1797. What? Long time ago. I realized I had to go look. I wasn't sure. So that's our centennial flag that was put, bicentennial flag that was put up in 1997. And they designed that as the city emblem right there. Can you see it from here? The blue one with the globe. That's supposed to be globes and like I don't know, wreath for Athens, I guess. Yeah. And that was designed by a local artist. We had a competition before my time, but it happened that way. Okay, let's see. You in green back there? Yes.
How do you track all your taxes?
How do I keep track of all my taxes? Is that what you said? The city taxes or my own? Cities. We have an auditor to do that. There's a city auditor. She's an elected official, Kathy Heck. She has a team, I think, of 5 or 6 in her office that track the taxes and also the expenses. She takes the money, looks at money coming in as well as the money going out. That is her job. There's a similar function at the county level. There's a county auditor too, and that's what the function is, to make sure the dollars are being spent and the numbers add up. There's also a treasurer. We have Marion McClure, who's an elected treasurer as well.
Mayor, we have about 2 more minutes. There's some people back here. Maybe you get
Okay,
some questions.
yes.
Hey guys, if you've not asked a question yet, let those ask, because we don't have a couple minutes. If you ask one, please put your hands down, guys, and maybe you can ask your question later on, okay? So when we can get through some of these here.
Okay, yes, okay. How about you?
Wait a minute. You got a car?
Do I have a car? Yes, I do. Oh, you mean a company car, city car?
Yeah.
I share a city car with my office. There's about 4 people who use a retired police Chevy Impala, an old police car that we use, and I use that occasionally. A lot of times I use my own vehicle, mostly because I'm just comfortable with it. Okay, how about you?
I've already asked.
You already asked? You?
Have you ever been on TV?
Have I ever been on TV? Oh, lots of times. We're on TV right now.
He's on TV right now.
Actually, I
do
do
you
a
know?
press conference every Wednesday. So, go ahead.
My other one is what's it? You already.
Yeah. Okay, you.
What is it like being in charge of an entire town?
It can be scary at times because you think you have to think for everybody. The people you disagree with and the people you agree with. You have to say what is the good of the city, and then you realize, you think, oh, this is good for the city. Then you have to step back and say, well, is that my opinion, or will it work? What's it look like? What's interesting is I look back on the ordinances. You talk about 100 ordinances a year. And you look back 100 years ago, I'm looking at an ordinance 100 years old, and it's got a signature of the mayor in there. I'm thinking, and I sign these ordinances too, and I'm signing this ordinance thinking, 100 years from now, is somebody going to look at that ordinance and say, what an idiot, why did he sign this, Or is he going to say, look, he made a good decision? And that's really what you have to think about. Running a city, sometimes it seems like it's nothing, but really it's a responsibility. On the other hand, I talk to somebody like Rick over here or some of the street crew guys and says, it's been around for 200 years, you can't break it. you know, but you can damage it, and therefore it is a responsibility. And I look to the experts. You know, I go to Chief Pyle to say how does the police run. I talk to Andy Stone of the Public Works to say how the water runs. I rely on people who are much better at doing those things than I do. So running it requires a little bit of like a symphony, so to speak. Okay, one more question. I know you're ready to go. Okay, how about you?
Hold on, I can't get my words straight.
Take your time.
Is city buying any new playground equipment this year?
I don't know. I know we're finishing up Southside Park. So we're buying
Yeah, I
equipment
know.
there. Actually, I think the next purchase for that is actually the matting underneath. We need to make it ADA accessible, and we're working on that. But I don't know in terms of equipment. I'd have to ask Rich Campitelli, my director of recreation, or Parks and Recreation. I think I saw something in the budget, but I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, I remember seeing a dollar amount in there, but what that actually entails, I don't know. So we don't know.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're going to have to let the mayor get back, and we're going to get you guys back to school. Those of you who still have questions, whatever, hey, guys, if you write him down and send them to him, I'm sure he'll answer them for you. All right?
I will give it the best.
Yeah. But guys, let's thank the mayor for joining us today and for visiting with you guys. So.
And thank you for coming. Okay?